Hi there, this is Lee. And with this video, I'm talking about corporations and their uh, non-tax payments. Robert Reich, a former member of the former Clinton's administration, has written an article for Common Dreams, Why Corporate Tax Deserters Shouldn't Get the Benefits of Being American Corporations. And so he's saying that Apple is only one of the big multinational global mega corporations that use foreign tax shelters to avoid paying their fair share in U.S. taxes. If you'll notice, all of our public works, our infrastructure, our public goods are crumbling all around us. Our schools, our roads, our bridges, all of our public goods that we consider necessary to make our society go, they've been crumbling. They've either been privatized or they've just been allowed to crumble. And so Robert Wright is saying that corporations have deserted North America, and they've done this by hiding their profits overseas, abroad, and then shifting sometimes their corporate headquarters to another nation because they want lower taxes. If they can get out of paying their taxes, they can, they have, they will. And so a lot of politicians have responded by saying, well, in order to stop them from hiding their money overseas, we'll just have to lower their taxes. And how's that been working? Not really. It's a losing strategy, according to Wright. And I agree with him. He's saying that if you continue to lower the tax rate, unnaturally low for corporations, in an effort to lure them back to North America, or even just continue to give them tax breaks and incentives and things like that, they'll continue to lower the bar. It's always going to be a need to go lower and lower till it's almost like, well, they're practically not paying taxes anyway for all the resources they use in order to operate their businesses. Robert Wright is saying that the president should use executive power to stop this type of desertion, and that Barack Obama has started to, but there are a lot of things that he can do in addition to what has already been done. And so Reich is saying that taxes who do not pay their fair share in North America should not have the beneficiary of being a part of North America. If they want to relocate to Mexico or to Indonesia or wherever, then they should have a beneficiary of those companies, not necessarily of our countries. And so he's saying that, one, they shouldn't be allowed to influence our U.S. government. If they're not paying their taxes here, if they're not paying fair wages to workers here, then they should not be allowed to influence our U.S. government. They shouldn't be allowed to contribute to political campaigns. They shouldn't be lobbying Congress or participate in the agency rulemaking proceedings or regulations. They should not have the right to sue foreign companies in U.S. courts for acts committed outside the United States. And so this is what we've seen recently with the Dakota Access Pipeline. For instance, ETP, Energy Transfer Partners, it was suggested by Barack Obama that they volunteer to stop the pipeline building because there was so much outcry and so many demonstrations and protests. And Energy Transfer Partners responded by, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to contact our local representatives, our congressional representatives. We're going to contact our politicians, our people in Washington, and we're going to let them know how we feel about Barack Obama and his attempt to suggest that we treat the local population with dignity and respect for or their history and their culture. We're going to tell our politicians that it's not in their best interest to cross us. So pipeline building has continued. This is what he's talking about. This is what Reich's talking about. Reich's also saying that they shouldn't be entitled to generous government contracts. Buy American provisions of the law should be applied to them. So they should have some obligation to us if they want our benefits given to them. He's also saying that their assets around the world shouldn't any longer be protected by the U.S. government, and this is very important. For instance, if there are assets abroad, for instance, if Energy Transfer Partners or any other fossil fuel company has assets abroad in another nation or foreign country, somewhere overseas, and they're not paying their fair share of taxes here at home, why would we send our military to defend their assets if they're not paying their taxes that funds our military here at home? Why is our military fighting for a private corporation overseas to protect their assets, and that corporation is not paying taxes here in the United States? What is that? What kind of sense does that make? No. They're using our military as their private security force. And Reich's saying, no, that drains our human resources. It drains our tax dollars because we're using our public funds to protect a private good. Doesn't make sense. And so Reich is saying that those interests, their interests, should be no of concern to our government in trade negotiations and climate negotiations, international treaties, things like this. They don't get to be represented by the U.S. government because they're no longer American. Corporations consider themselves individuals if they're not living here. If they're living abroad, then why would they get the benefit of U.S. citizenship? Doesn't make sense, doesn't it, when it's spelled out that way? I'm going to post a link to this article in the description, and you can take a look at it and see what you think.